Hey guys, so we have to do a CNC assembly basically, where we put out every part that we will CNC into a nice organized little grid. Um, the reason we do this is because that's how CNCs work. That's how, well, I guess that's how exporting gussets or other plates we want to make to the CNC works. And there are like some sophistication that goes with it, but not too much. So I am in the master prototype document right now, and I just made a couple example gussets to show you guys. You don't have to do this. I'll just like show you how to do it, and then you guys can just go into CNC and then make a part studio, or not part studio, make an assembly, and then import the gussets and organize them. So I made two gussets. They're both differently shaped, and so let's say I want maybe four of these and four of each. We'll go four of each, right? So I'm gonna go into import. I will go into example gusset. I'll do one, I'll do two, and then I'll just do. What you want to do is you want to make sure that first of all these are facing top down. So make sure that it's and use like that. So there you go. So it's facing top down, right? So on the top plane you'll see like the flat surface, right? And then what you do is you fasten one of them to the origin. So you can fasten the bottom of this one to the origin. You'll see a fastening appear in it. There you go. Fasten like that. Cool. And so I want 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Cool. So when making an assembly for CNCing, you want to make sure that your parts are on the same plane and they are a minimum of 6 millimeters from each other. Why 6 millimeters? Because the end mill, the drill bit of our CNC, is 4 millimeters in diameter, and 6 millimeters gives it a bit of clearance to go in between parts. So it's just something that we do. And this distance might change as well, depending on what parts you're making or how many parts you're making, but we just do, usually it's going to be 6 millimeters. Yeah, so first you import your part, and what you do is you want a part on the origin, so that way it just doesn't move. You can also fix it, but I like to put it at the origin. Yeah. So how do you make parts 6 millimeters from each other? Well, you just go ahead and go into fasten mate, right? And you want them to be side by side. So you hover over this face right here, and you make sure that it's on the center of that face, right? So you click on that, there's one mate connector, then you rotate it like this, and you place it, there you go. Cool. So this is not 6 millimeters, this is 0 millimeters. So how do you make it 6 millimeters apart? Well, you just go into offset. You see the z-axis signifies the left-right direction right here. And so you do 6 millimeters? Nope, negative 6 millimeters. Right, you just, it's that simple, honestly. So you do that, negative 6 millimeters. You go into the next square gusset that you might have. There you go. Do it like this. And the purpose with making this type of assembly is to make it as compact as possible. So our CNC limits are, let me pull up my messages with the keel. They are 28 inches by 20 inches. So you want to make your CNC assembly as compact as possible, just to save space. And also, if we really need to, we can print more of this, or not print, we can cut out more of the same parts. So there you go, I have another one, and let's just put the fourth one, let's put it right here, right? Then I go into offset, go into Z, negative 6 millimeters, enter, and there you go, right? Now all of these distances, like all these gaps, are 6 millimeters. So there's, each part is 6 millimeters away from each other. 6 millimeters is the minimum, which is another thing for these types of gussets, right? Not square gussets, but like some weird ones. I wouldn't say weird, differently shaped, right? Maybe unnatural shaped is how I would call it. So what you do for these types of gusset is you, first of all, you just start off doing the same thing, right? You go here, you press on the center of that one, and now what I'll do is I'll press on the center of this one, Cool. And then now you want to offset it by 6 millimeters, right? So you do -6 millimeters, enter. Nice. Now what you can start doing is you can start kind of, I guess, treating it like a puzzle. And what I just thought of is we can try to mount another one that goes like this. But see how there's a square in there, so maybe I don't want to do that. So what if I rotate it 90 degrees? You can also do this. You can like, instead of mating them right away, you can kind of just play with their orientations and just drag them around. So I don't really like that. Let's go back to this one. Actually, let's rotate it another 90 degrees. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, I like the square one. So 90 degrees, cool. So we're gonna mount it like this, right? So how do I do that? Well, I first rotate it in the orientation I want it in my assembly. I click on this face right here and make the center to the center of, well, let's see, actually, if you go into the top-down view, you can kind of see which edges you want to make sure are 6 millimeters away from each other. So now you see that this edge, and this edge. So the reason why I did not make the center of this a face to the center of this face is because then this part will be offset like that, and it'll be a pain to try to offset it this way. So I'm just going to mount it from this face to this face. Or yeah. Okay, yeah. So I'll do that. So what I'll do this time is instead of the center mate, I can use this mate right here on the very edge, right? The mate number 1, and then I can mate that edge to the respective edge over here. Cool. It's not 6 millimeters away, right? So I want to offset -6 millimeters. And there you go, 6 millimeters away. So if you measure it on the bottom right, you'll see it is a distance of, if I change my units to millimeters, 6 millimeters. Cool. Yeah. So that's basically how you do it. You want to make sure that every single edge is 6 millimeters or more away from other edges. And now I'm just going to leave it up to you guys to finish up the gussets. So do the same with the gussets on our prototype dry base. Where's the stop?